Hello, I'm Claire. Welcome to my channel, Claire Bobbins, and welcome to Friday Sews. So this week I have a small fabric haul for you from the fabulous Stitch Fabrics, Rosenberg and Son. I have some little bits and pieces I've been making in the sewing room, and just a little bit of chat. So a quiet week in the sewing room. Come back to me in just a moment to find out what I've been doing. Welcome back. So before I go any further, let's have a look at what I'm wearing. So this is the Allie Olsen Hive sweater, and I made it with a lovely quilted jersey. It's a polyester. I don't normally go for polyester, but I was intrigued by the fact it was quilted, and I really quite like it. It's great for cooler weather. It's quite comfortable to wear. It has some ponte, quite a thin ponte that the lovely Sandra gave me, Sandra stitched. She had a little bit left over from a project, and it was just enough to make the waistband and the cuffs and do this little neckband. And then I did just a bag zipper with the oil slick drop toggle zipper pull there from bag making. And yeah, I wear it a lot. I quite like it, even though it's black. Yeah, it's great for this transeasonal weather. It was howling down this morning with rain. It's now very windy, but it's really warm. It's about 20 degrees outside, and next week we're promised some more nice weather again. I think it's going to be up to 25 degrees again. So yeah, summer hasn't quite gone yet, but it did feel like it this morning. And the weather's definitely a little bit cooler at night and first thing, and there are those an autumnal feeling to the weather. So yeah, I should be really sewing autumnal clothes, but I'm not, because I'm finishing off my summer Fabric with a Fate stuff, and I'm sewing for my holiday, which is a sunshine holiday. So yeah, it feels a bit weird really. It feels like I ought to be well into autumnal and early winter things, but I have dug out my clothes that I'd put away for the autumn. They're back out again. So what have I been making? As I say, it's been a quiet week in the sewing room. I've been doing bits and pieces of mending, turning up trousers for Mr. Bobbins, reinforcing the hem at the back, and top stitching, just so some repairs. Made a couple of pairs of knickers. I like the Stevie knicker pattern, so just for my pants drawer. It's always nice to have nice me-made knickers, isn't it? They're a bit different. I was experimenting with using my cover stitch and putting which way I put the elastic, and I like it better on top, I think. On the first one I'd got it underneath, and then just some stretch lace on the top. First time I've used a stretch lace on top, quite like it. I've got more on the top of this one than that one. Probably somewhere in between the two would be perfect. So I'll continue messing about with that in the next pair. I use the Stevie Knickers pattern. It's a free pattern online. Can't just remember. I'll pop in the information box below whose pattern it is. But yeah, it seems to fit me quite nicely. I did notice on a Snag Tights Facebook post that they were doing really high knickers, and I saw them. I thought, oh, they look nice. I could make some of those. So I might have a go at doing some higher ones. Those were kind of, yeah, they're not a high rise. They're not a particularly high leg, but they just fit me quite nicely. But oh, when it's really snuggly weather, it might be nice to have something that comes up a bit higher. We'll see. I might try it. You might recognise this print from my, what was it, the So Frugal. I did the core tee, and I didn't like it, so I've remade it into pants, to knickers, for our American cousins. Yes. Yeah, I might have it. I don't think I've got enough left to make another pair, but there's a few scraps. I'll find something to do with them. So what else have I been doing before I go on to my fabric haul? I've been working on my Hollyoak dress. I'm trialling it. Well, I'm making a muslin. It's the first time I've made it. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and then I had my my collaboration dress to finish, and I made my lovely Ilford jacket to go with it. There's a reason why this is here, still here. You'll find out when you look at the fabric haul. So yes, I've been working on fitting the bodice for the Hollyoak dress, and it's a strappy sundress with a button down front, and there's quite a lot of fitting required, so it's just taking me a little bit longer, but I am still working on that. In the background there's nothing really very much to see. I'm just making it in calico, but hopefully I'll get that done before too long, because I feel like my Fabric Wheel of Fate project has been going on forever. But that's what happens when you're doing new patterns and they're, you know, challenging patterns. So yeah, but good fun. So I shall be continuing with that. So I have a fabric haul, and I know I don't need any more fabrics, but it would be rude not to go and have a look, wouldn't it, when they come to your local village hall. And I've been quite good throughout the year. I've not splurged and gone mad. I've bought fabrics that I didn't have another one like it in my stash, and yeah, I think I'm very pleased with what I bought. So let's have a little look, shall we? So the first fabric that I have here is a lovely cotton sateen, but it's really fine, and I've got this to make a shirt with. I really like the colour, just couldn't resist the colour. Now I do have plenty of shirt fabrics, but the colour of this I just thought was stunning. It wasn't expensive. It's beautiful Italian. It has a feel of, it's a similar weight to a Tana lawn, very, very fine. It did have a little bit of a sateen sheen to it, but you know, I've washed it now. It's washed really nicely. It's softened the handle a little. It does have a very soft handle. The sateen just has a slightly more of a twill weave on the surface. It's 100% cotton. It just has that beautiful, smooth twill weave, very, very fine, that gives a kind of sheen to the surface. But there's no satin in it, and there's no, you know, it's just the type of fabric. So I've had the Cashmerette Harrison shirt, the Princess Seam Harrison shirt printed. So I'm planning to make this. I can't decide whether to toile it in I've got a turquoise cotton lawn that was about half the price of this. I think this was £12 a metre, which I thought was beautiful, very good for the quality. I think the turquoise one was about £6 a metre. So I'm just torn whether to toile it in the turquoise cotton lawn and maybe play around with a little bit of pin tucking. But I don't know whether I like the idea of pin tucks on a princess seam shirt. What do you think? Because of the curves, I'm not sure where I'd put the pin tucks. It has a button placket, so I could do pin tucks either side of the button placket, but then I'm not sure how they'll go with the princess seam. What do you think? I'll pop up some photographs of the pattern lines, and you can tell me what you think. I think it'd be lovely in this fabric. I've made the Vernon shirt so far. That's the only Cashmerette shirt I've made. I made it in a tencel twill in the autumn. I wore it yesterday and I thought it didn't feel tight on me, and I've not put any weight on. In fact, if anything, I've lost a little bit of weight, but I don't know whether it might have shrunk. And I did wonder whether or not I prefer a little bit more room in a blouse or a shirt, and whether to make it in the 16. I'm undecided, very undecided. It doesn't gape. I've got a really nice fit over the bust, which isn't where I normally struggle with fitting. I've had it printed. I've had the Harrison shirt printed in both sizes, the 14 and the 16. I've got the Vernon cut out in a 14 with my adjustments. I did think it felt a little bit short in the sleeve. I think I'll compare it with the pattern pieces and see if it has actually shrunk. Although I did pre-wash the fabric, so, but rayon can be a bit funny like that, can't it? And it's a really good quality rayon. It's whose was it? Not Merchant and Mills, but a similar quality. Bought it from Minerva. Oh, I can't remember. I'll pop it below. Okay, moving on. So let me know what you think. Harrison shirt, plain turquoise fabric as a toile. Which shall I go for? Shall I just make it in this? And never mind the toile, and just do the straight Harrison shirt in there. Be refreshing, wouldn't it? Size 16. Do the thing. What do you think? Pop it in the comments below for me. Okay, this is this is a crepe back satin. I never thought I'd buy crepe back satin, and of course it's not my colours. However, it has the lovely teal colour in it, which is one of my colours. Oops, sorry, apologies if I've walloped my microphone. It goes nicely with the teal colour, and I'm sure I've got enough teal coloured. I'm going to make a skirt with it, and I'm thinking the Astle skirt. And Astle was the Cashmerette Club pattern last month, and it's a bias cut draped skirt, and I saw Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery made the cocoa bias cut skirt last year and wore it right through the winter with all sorts of things, and I thought, what a great wardrobe staple to have, because it looks quite dressed up, really suited her. We're a similar shape. She's a little bit smaller than I am, but we've both got narrow hips and bigger at the top, and I thought, ooh, I really quite fancied making one. And when Sandra Stitch showed me that she'd bought enough of this to make a dress, which will look beautiful on Sandra, these are her colours absolutely perfectly. She's a spring, and you know, you can see the warmth in there. I thought, ooh, wow, that is lovely, lovely fabric, and I could get away with it if I wear it below the waist. So I'm thinking that'll make a really nice skirt, and then I can pick out the winter colour in it, because it has the a little bit of the dark blue and the teal, which are my colours, along with the rust colour. And I reckon if I contrast it with that, that will be fine if I wear that in my top half. And I have some nice tan boots that I could wear with it. So, you know, I do have some warm accessories that I can pair with that. What do you think? I think that's a plan. It's beautiful fabric. It's lovely heavy weight. It has a real weight to it. It's polyester, but it'll be fine as a skirt for the winter. I'm not sure I'd want to wear something like that for dancing in or for summer. It's too, yeah, I'd get too hot in it. But yes, I don't often buy polyester, and I bought two. I think it's polyester, pretty sure it is. It doesn't crease particularly, so I think it will be, but it's very nice quality. Okay, so moving on. If you've watched me for any length of time, you'll know that I love the Metro blazer, and it's pretty much a staple in my wardrobe. I have, do I have four? I've got a pink one, a purple one, a red one. Have I got three or four? Have I got another one? Pink, purple, red. I haven't got a black one. Oh, and navy. Pink, purple, red and navy. I made a navy one for a funeral in June. So I've always wanted to have a go at doing a patterned one, and just haven't seen anything in a heavy enough weight that I felt was suitable to make a jacket from. I found this lovely Italian knit. It's a stable knit, very like a Ponte Roma, very high viscose content, and it has, I don't know if you can see that, I'll pop a photograph in. It has a lovely light, it's kind of like a metallic blue. I would say it's not a royal blue, it's a little bit more grey than that, but I really like it. Comes over as quite neutral. I think that would make a gorgeous Metro blazer. And I think that would be, you could wear that with so many other, you could wear it with black, you could wear it with greys, you could wear it with blues. It's like a kind of abstract dog tooth print. Really, really nice. Feels lovely. It's got a lot of viscose in. Feels like it's kind of 70% viscose or whatever. The back is quite densely knitted. It's a good weight. It's definitely a jacket weight or trouser weight rather than, you know, rather than a jumper weight. It's got a reasonable amount of stretch. I might have to bind. Normally with my Metro blazer, that when I'm using the Minerva heavyweight Ponte Roma, it's such a fabulously stable fabric. I don't usually finish the seams, but I might have to on this. I might have to do something with them. We'll see. I mean, it's self-lined at the front. But normally at the back, I just cut the seams straight and leave them like that, and they look really good. They look like they're finished when they're not. And it doesn't feel like it will unravel, so maybe it will be okay. I just wonder whether it's not fraying at all. It might be all right. It just doesn't look big. It doesn't look quite as finished. Maybe it will when I rotary cut it. I'll have to have a look. I might either overlock or I might bind it. We'll see. It's mostly the only seams that really show. The only seam that really shows is the main back seam. And then the hem at the back. So it might be worth binding it. I like the binding that I've done on my Ilford jacket, and that might be a nicer finish. I could always use a polyester binding that would have a bit of sheen to it rather than a me-made binding. We'll see. I'll have a think about that. I'm into my binding with my binding foot, aren't I? Okay, so my final fabric, and I was going to just buy the three. I was going to be really, really good and a bit boring. And then I saw this beautiful linen. Now, I do have some linens, and I do have a neutral linen. Oh, I saw this. Just amazing. It's what is called an Italian, a double linen, and I've got 4 meters here, and it's really heavy. It is the most beautiful. It's not a bright white, it's more of a winter white. It's not a cream, so it's good with my complexion. I'm fine with a winter white, but it's a real hefty weight. I've pre-washed it. I've pre-washed all the fabrics. It's got quite a lot of texture, and when I washed it, it almost went like a double gauze in that lovely. I mean, it's got the most amazing texture when it's naturally dried. I did tumble dry this because I always do that. My fabrics went up before or almost always. I don't do it with silks, but I wash them and wash them at the temperature they'll get laundered at, and I tumble dry them. But then once they're made, I don't tumble dry the garments, I air dry. So it's got such a lot of weight to this. So I'm thinking a jacket and pants for my holiday. Apparently, a very famous designer with name with a capital P. I think something along the lines of Prague. Designer clothing company used this same fabric to do a white suit, a white jacket and pants for the summer collection. I can't find it. I can't find a photograph of it. I've searched through lots of them. There's some really lovely. There's a nice jacket that I've seen. It might be that one, but it's a lovely weight for a jacket. I was wondering whether or not I could do the Ilford jacket in it. The other option, the other pattern I have is I have the Pattern Emporium downtown jacket. However, if I did the downtown jacket, I would need to toile it, and that would take me time, and we go on holiday at the end of November. I've got other things to do as well. Busy couple of months. So what do you think? Should I go ahead and make the Ilford jacket in it? Obviously, it would seem quite different. It would feel quite different in a linen. I really like the style of it, and they're not dissimilar in style, downtown and the Ilford. Again, I'm not sure about the length. I'll have to. Maybe I should use my croquis and do some sketching and see what. I'm thinking wide leg pants. I'm thinking probably the Calder pants, because I have a front flat waistband and then elasticated at the back. I think this would. See, I'm not sure whether it's so thick, whether or not it might be better with something like the Magic pants that Diane was talking about, where they have a fixed waistband but then they have an elastic overlap. And the Merriam trouser, Cashmerette Merriam trouser, has that. Maybe I could have a look at that. I just think there's a lot of bulk here. I'm not sure how it would be elasticated. You know, doubled over as a waistband. It's going to be quite bulky. Anyway, the other thing I thought about when I'd messed about with this and had a feel of it and thought about what I was going to do with it was, what would I bind it with? Well, I have a couple of options. I could bind it. I could do self-binding. I have another very, very similar coloured linen that's a neutral linen, that's a thinner linen that I could bind it with. And then I thought about this fabric. I bought a cream, an ivory, beg pardon. I bought an ivory silk, and it was just a remnant. And I saw the word silk and jacquard and thought, oh, that would be nice to do something with. And when it arrived, I thought, oh, it's wedding dress fabric. And instantly, you know, put it on one side, and there it's been for the last 6 years. It wasn't expensive because it was a remnant, and it was, I think I bought it in the 50% off sale, so I didn't pay very much money for it. I'm not sure how much I have. I need to find it, I need to measure it. But I think if I made bias binding out of that and then maybe used it on the cuffs, on the back of the cuffs, like I've done the contrast here, it would just give me that little bit of interest, but it wouldn't look like a wedding dress. So that's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Downtown jacket? What do you think? I mean, it doesn't have a yoke or anything. It's very simple lines. The Pattern Emporium has a yoke. I might put the two different line drawings up for you to compare. Has anybody made them both? How do they compare? How do they compare size-wise? I'm going to have to trial it, even if just in a bit of if I do decide to do the downtown. And then there's the thing: do I make it cropped? Do I keep it long? I'm going to have to do some trying on, aren't I? I'm going to have to try this on with my Calder pants and see how the silhouettes look. What do you think? What silhouette should I be going for? So I'm thinking breezy, breezy linen, casual, slightly crumpled Italian style, not worrying about the creases, but still, I've also got the Heart 12 pattern cut out, printed off, which is a waistcoat pattern. I've got the Cashmerette version. I made the Pattern Scout version in a beautiful wool twill, which is gorgeous. I think I'll get an even better fit with the Cashmerette one, I think, because the new stuff's a bit more booby. The Pattern Scout one, I think I did the D cup. I can't remember if I did. I don't think I did an FBA. I think I decided that it fitted okay. I'm thinking maybe I do a waistcoat, and then do I have quite enough? Have I got enough to do the waistcoat and the trousers and the Ilford jacket? The Ilford jacket's 2 meters. I'll comfortably get Calder pants out of 2 meters. I think I can always crop them. Oh, choices, decisions. I need help. Can you help me decide? What do you think? Yeah, I don't want to mess it up. It's the most beautiful fabric. I don't know whether to just make a jacket and waistcoat and then have pants and something else, but it seems 4 meters. It's a shame not to make something that actually goes together, isn't it? I do like coordinating fabrics. It feels just sublime. Decisions. What do you think? Let me know. Your answers on a postcard, please. No, your answers in the comments below, please. So that's what I've been doing. Lots of soul searching about jackets and patterns and time, and so I'm going to be getting on this week with my Hollyoak dress. I'll just pop a photograph up there so you can see. I'll remind you what it's like. So I'm working on the fitting of the bodice, and as soon as I've got the muslin, as soon as I'm happy with the muslin bodice, I'll get that cut out, and I don't think it'll take me long to make it once I'm happy with the fit. It's just getting I did my regular thing of the full bust adjustment. I converted my sloper pattern to princess seam pattern. I've mentioned this in a video before, so apologies if you've heard this before. Converted my sloper to a princess seam version with the full bust adjustment, offered that up, compared them, recut the pattern piece, or traced it off anyway, recut the pattern piece. I had lengthened the strap to move the bust apex point down, but then I had gaping under the arm and you can see my bra. So what I need to do is to lengthen, actually move the curve down and lengthen slightly the pattern piece, rather than just making the straps longer. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I'm fiddling with that at the moment to get a good fit, because it has to cover my bra straps, and still not be too high for my apex. So there we are. Have you fitted, are any of you fitted a princess seam strappy top? Be interested to know. I think once I've nailed its hat on and I know exactly what I'm doing, it's worth doing properly, isn't it? That will then give me my baseline for all my future, princess seam tops. So it's worth doing, and it'll help to inform my Harrison shirt as well. Although I suspect with the Harrison shirt, if I make the size 16, I won't need to do the full bust adjustment because the sizing will work for me. But I will need to move the apex down, but I could just do the cut out and move. So I will trace the front bodice when I come to do the Harrison shirt. I'll trace those pattern pieces rather than just cutting them. Everything else I'll just cut. So yeah, again, thoughts on that fitting, please. Princess seams, large bust fitting. Any experience? Any advice? It's all a bit of an unknown to me. I'm pretty much sorted with darted bodices now. But yeah, princess seams. Oh. There we go. Apart from that, everything's just lovely. Very happy with my new fabrics. Very much looking forward to cutting out my Metro blazer. Don't need to do any adjustments for that. Need to get the Astle skirt printed off. I've got a couple of other patterns that I'd quite like to get printed off as well. So yeah, that'll be my week. I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've lasted this long, well done. Hope you've enjoyed my waffle. Have a fabulous weekend and a lovely week next week, and happy sewing.